Bag Truth Seeker. Want to send a thank you to Ronnie Socks. He tipped me off about this story. On September 7th, 2018, LeBron James and Kevin Durant, their rap song together, It Ain't Easy, was released. And this song was recorded in 2011, so they waited a long time to release this. There's some sick jokes here. First of all, September 7th, the day this was released, is Eazy-E, the rapper's birthday, who was murdered by the numbers. Second, Kevin Durant has a tattoo of Tupac Shakur on his body, and this is the day in history Tupac, the rapper, was shot. This is also the day Mac Miller, the rapper, died. And let me bring all this together and show you the undeniable riddle that has been presented. So thank you, Ronnie Socks. He gave me this tip. I want you to think about LeBron James and Kevin Durant through the word rap, knowing the code of Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. Rap equals 35, King James equals 35. The real King James became a Freemason in the year he turned 35 years old. Holy Bible also has Gematria 45. The year King James turned 45 years old was the year the Holy Bible came out in his name. This code is centuries old. It's been used for Masonic rituals from then to now. Kevin Durant has that tattoo on his body of Tupac, which we're going to get to in the base cipher Tattoos 35. Think about how Kevin Durant wears the number 35. In 2017, he made LeBron 3 in 5 in NBA Finals, as I said he would. Mac Miller just OD'd on this date, 35 days after the release of his last album. There's even more to that ritual. See my videos on Mac Miller's death. Now look here at this emphasis on it ain't easy. This is the proof that this is a Freemason ritual and very much a conspiracy. It ain't easy in the 4-base cipher sums to 123, 42, 147, and 66. Let's start with the 42 and 66. In those same ciphers, LeBron James equals 42 and 66. Biblical numbers. The New Testament begins with the 42 generations to Jesus. It ends with the 66th book. 66, the 11th triangular number. Black equals 11. Jesus equals 11. The Black Panther Party established in 66 and not arbitrarily. The Black Panther Party was controlled by Freemasonry, controlled opposition. If you're new here, I have a number of videos on that, from Huey P. Newton to Fred Hampton and beyond, to Tupac's mother. Anyhow, now let's look at the 123 and the 147. Conspiracy in those same ciphers, 123, 147. Having this song released on this day and this mocking ritual to these past suspicious incidents in the past, Tupac's death, the death of Eazy-E, these were conspiracies. The word Freemason also has Gematria of 42 and 147 in those same two ciphers. Now the day September 7th, it's an interesting day. It's the day that leaves 115 days left in the year. The word Masonic equals 115. The word killing equals 115. Also, the fact that it's 9/7. Well, notice how Masonic and Kevin also overlap. Masonic 74:29. Kevin 74:29. You see that? Kevin Durant's the one with the Tupac tattoos on his body. We'll talk about Tupac and 74 in a moment. But September 7th can be written 9/7 or 7/9. Kevin Durant and LeBron James are both NBA champions. The word 79, or the word champion, has Gematria of 79. Like the date, September 7th. 79 is the 22nd prime number. Basketball, 22. Tupac was shot 22 years ago to the day September 7th. The word murder also has Gematria 79 in this cipher. Talk more about that. From the release of this story on September 7th, 22 days later, this basketball number is Kevin Durant's birthday. His birthday is in 22 days. You know, how fitting. I should also mention that September 7th can be written 9/7 like 97, and 97 is the 25th prime. Kevin equals 25. So the date can be written 7/9 like 79, or 9/7 like 97. They're both prime numbers and they both fit the riddle. They both point to Kevin Durant. You see? Used to have a deep video on Kevin Durant's Tupac tattoo. Let's cover some of that right here. Tupac shot September 7th, 1996. He would die 6 days later. He was shot in 96. The word Freemason with the alphabetic order is 96. Tupac would die September 13th, 1996. A date that can be written 13/9 like 139. Kevin Durant 139. Tupac Shakur 139. Freemasonry 139. You flip the alphabetic order around, all three of those things sum to the same thing in the reverse cipher as well, 158. Even more, this story, it comes 114 days before LeBron James' birthday. His birthday is December 30th. From September 7th to December 30th is 114 days. It's also a span of 115 days, but 114 is the big one with LeBron James. LeBron James equals 114. The day he got traded to Los Angeles, that was 114 days before the 114th World Series. And we'll see what that riddle ends up being. The entire world of sports, a connected script. I'm going to come back to this piece here about LeBron James and the King James Bible and the significance of these numbers, 114 as well as 79. But for now, let's look at Kevin Durant and his tattoo of Tupac and think more about this. The real Machiavelli, by the way, was born May 3rd. Tupac's rap alias was Machiavelli. His mother's death was announced on May 3rd in 2016. That day can be written 3/5. The Machiavelli album, by the way, released 53 days after Tupac's death on November 5th, 11/5, like 115. Like this riddle coming out on September 7th, the day leaving 115 days left in the year. 53, 35, reflections of each other. Here's that Machiavelli cover. Tupac on the cross, right? Tupac on the cross. And here's what you got to see. Well, you should know that when this story came out in 2017 about Kevin Durant's tattoo, his Tupac tattoo, it came out November 28th, 61 days after his own birthday. You know, September 29th, came out 61 days after his birthday. This was the story about him and the tattoo. Come back up here. Story was November 28th. You see? Why does that matter? It matters because of this. Tupac equals 61 with the alphabetic order. Tupac equals 74 when you flip the alphabetic order around. Kevin equals 61 with the alphabetic order. Kevin equals 74 when you flip the alphabetic order around. Same with Jesus. Same with cross. You know? And it looks like I forgot to put it up here, but Machiavelli with the alphabetic order sums to 74 too. So does rapper. You know? Tupac, Machiavelli, rapper, Kevin, cross, the cover. So again, the death of Tupac Shakur, shot at 11:15 p.m. on the day leaving 115 days left in the year. It's when the hands are on the 11 and 3. Those numbers are Scottish Rite Freemasonry. On September 7th, the same day that this rap song was released, the rapper Mac Miller died. Mac Miller, Machiavelli. Is there a play on words there? Anyway, his birth name, Mac Miller, is Malcolm James McCormick, which sums to 79, like 7/9, like September 7th, the day he died, in Studio City. Deaths always sell more records for the record companies. Again, 79 is the 22nd prime. Murder 79, death 97, 97 the 25th prime. Tupac died at age 25, like how Kevin equals 25. Tupac, from his birthday to the day he was shot, was 83 days later. Murder also has the Gematria of 83. The song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. Tupac's full alias name, Tupac Amaru Shakur, 58. Like Freemasonry, like secret society, like Huey P. Newton, who founded the Black Panther Party. His mother was a Black Panther. Now here's the kicker. I want you to think about how LeBron's in LA this year. The 213 area code. This story is coming out after LeBron's about to start his first season in LA, right? The 213. Tupac used to claim LA, California, the Bay Area. That's where Kevin Durant is. Tupac, they say Tupac got Changed his whole rap style when he went to Oakland. He learned from the Oakland rappers. Then he went down to LA and claimed that as his city, being from the East Coast originally. But anyway, February 13th, 1996, the day All Eyes on Me came out. Tupac would die 213 days later. The cause of death was a drive-by shooting. Complications from being shot in a drive-by shooting. Drive-by shooting 213. Black History Month 213. Black Panther 213. Death 213. I'll take you back 2 years ago when LeBron fell to 3-5 in the NBA Finals against Kevin Durant and the Warriors. LeBron's first NBA Finals game. I got to bring up the Gematria calculator to show you this so you can really appreciate it. The NBA Finals equals 213. That year, 2 years ago, LeBron's first game in the Finals was on the day leaving 213 days left in the year, and it was his 213th playoff game of his career. And just before the game, the headline was that his home in the LA area code was spray painted with the N-word. You know, the NBA Finals, 213. 213th playoff game, first game, game one of the NBA Finals. The day leaving 213 days left in the year. I believe that's June 1st. Finals also has that 61 Gematria. He was still playing for Ohio then, 61. But his house got spray painted with the N-word, right? The N-word, 42. Like LeBron James, 42. Like the song It Ain't Easy, 42. You know? On Eazy-E's birthday, who was murdered by this code. You know? Now, the reason 42 stamped all over black history in a million different ways is right here. Savior equals 42. Sin equals 42. New Testament equals 42. The New Testament begins with the 42 generations to Jesus. Just the word new alone is 42. Goes back to the 42 laws of Ma'at from Egypt. The first law is, I will not sin. Think about this. There are two descriptions of Jesus in the Bible. Two descriptions of his physical appearance. And you won't find these in most churches. Here's Daniel 7:9. 7:9. We're talking about that number, aren't we? 79. As I looked, thrones were set in place, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His clothing was as white as snow. The hair of his head was white like wool. Who has wool hair? Who has wool hair? LeBron James and Kevin Durant, they could have some wool hair. Here's Revelation 1:14, the only other physical description of Jesus. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. Does that sound like white skin to you? And his voice as the sound of many waters. You know, February, that's Black History Month. Slavery, that's 42. You know, Malcolm X, that's Black History, 42. Martin, 42, like Martin Luther King Jr. Or the apartment Martin, where he lives in the apartment, 42. You know, Cosby Show, 42. Huxtable, the name of the family from the Cosby Show, 42. Jackie, who wore 42, Jackie, 42. The first black baseball player was really Moses Walker, 42, played in 42 games. There's Black History on the Bus, 42. There's Calling Black People Boy, 42. And there's a whole lot more, you know. This number stamped all over black history. LeBron James, 42. First player to go to 6 straight finals since 66 when Bill Russell did it. Another 42. You know, you have Russell Westbrook setting the benchmark, the workhorse stat with 42 triple-doubles in a season. Oscar Robertson has the record with 181. That's the 42nd prime number. And there's a whole lot more to that list. You know, this past year on Jackie Robinson's birthday, 3 black celebrities died, all on his birthday, all having 42 name gematria. One of them was Oscar Gamble, the baseball player, 42, who died 42 days after his own birthday. Another was Rajuel Butler, former NBA player. And I can't remember the name of the third. It was Don Lemon's sister, though. Don Lemon's sister, her name summed to 42. And she drowned in a pond. Pond equals 59. The name Lemon equals 59. Negro 59. Slave 59. Blues 59. I want to show you something about the N-word. Notice how it breaks down. N's 5, I's 9. E's 5, R's 9. 5959 inside the word. You know, the word slave 59, the word slavery 42. The Civil War ended on May 9th. Motown Records came out in 59. Detroit's on the 42nd parallel. Aretha Franklin just dead in Motown on a date with 42 numerology. She was announced sick on a date with 59 numerology. You know, that headline about monkey this up out of the Florida governor race, 59, not arbitrary. So these are the riddles, you know, from the NBA to Mac Miller to what's going on in politics, because Freemasonry runs it all. It's undeniable. You learn this code, it's undeniable. You know, my critics say, oh, I just plug in numbers to make things fit. It's impossible. I mean, you can't just make a word sum to anything you want. It sums to a certain thing. It's mathematics. And these people do everything by perfect ritual. That's why I can see it all right away, because I know the repetitive patterns they work by. You know, don't forget what I've been teaching about 35 in recent days. Svengali, 35. That's the word that means when an entertainer has somebody who's an evil influence over them, controlling their life, you know, dictating what they do. You think he chose to put the Tupac tattoo on his body and have the story come out 61 days after his birthday, you know? And then the album leaked. I mean, who leaked it? We know who leaked it. Same people who run this whole operation. And let me not say who that is, but let me just put up a picture of who those people are. What's his name? David Stern, Adam Silver, you know? I'll remind you as I put up this picture. As I put up this picture right here, I'll just remind you. In Revelation, the final book of the Bible, it says, in the end times, the false Jews will rule. The false Jews will rule in the end times. They are the synagogue of Satan. And if you read the Bible, all the physical descriptions of the Jews, well, they have dark skin, like burnt brass. They have hair of wool. You know, Methuselah, the oldest Jew in the Bible, there's a story of him giving birth to one child that's white, and he doesn't know what to think of this white child. Why would he, who has all these burnt brass children, have a white child? You know? Maybe it was Adam Silver or David Stern. You know? This code of letters and numbers comes from Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism. Core belief that God created the world by merging the letter with the number. You realize everything in this world is scripted around this code. It's not hard to add 2 plus 2. Until next time.